So you're thinking about getting a new piercing or tattoo. We all want the same thing, right? For it to look amazing and heal up perfectly. But what about when it doesn't? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the invisible science, the hidden world of metals and physics that determines whether your body art heals like a dream or turns into a total nightmare. I mean, it's a question so many of us have desperately typed into a search bar at 2 a.m. You're doing everything right, you're following all the aftercare instructions to the letter, but it's just angry. It's red, it's irritated, and it just won't heal. And you start to think, is it me? Am I the problem?
But here's the thing. What if it's not you? What if the problem was there from the very second that jewelry went in? We're about to show you that the real culprit is often the material itself. And we're going to start by busting the biggest myth in the entire industry. All right, first up, let's talk about the grade 5 deception. You've probably heard the term grade 5 titanium. It sounds really impressive, maybe even aerospace grade, but for a fresh piercing, using it is one of the biggest, most dangerous mistakes out there.
See, the magic isn't just in the word titanium. It's in a very specific certification, ELI, which stands for extra low interstitials. Okay, so think of it like this. Picture all the titanium atoms lined up perfectly. Interstitial elements, like oxygen, are like tiny little intruders that squeeze into the gaps between those atoms, messing up the whole structure. Now, when you look at this, the difference seems tiny, almost ridiculous, right? Industrial grade 5 allows up to 0.20% oxygen. The proper implant-grade standard, which is called ASTM F136, caps it at just 0.13%. You're probably thinking, come on, how much of a difference can that possibly make?
Well, that tiny number, 0.07%, is everything. That little bit of extra oxygen is an absolute disaster on a microscopic level. It makes the metal brittle. And inside your body, where a piercing is always moving just a little bit, that brittleness causes microfractures, invisible little cracks on the surface that become the perfect hiding spots for bacteria.
And this table just lays it all out so clearly. Look at that clinical impact column. With the right stuff, the ASTM F136, lower oxygen means it's way less brittle. Less iron means it's less toxic. Higher ductility means it can handle movement without cracking. And that self-healing surface, that means it's just fundamentally way more compatible with your body's tissues. And look, this isn't just some abstract theory. There was this case back in 2018 at a studio in Bangkok. They were seeing a 30% rejection rate, which is huge. It turns out the grade 5 jewelry they were using was basically high-carbon scrap metal. The second they switched to certified ASTM F136, the rejection rate plummeted to almost zero. Your body knows the difference, even if you don't. Okay, so we've nailed down the chemistry, right? You need the right ingredients. But believe it or not, that's only half the battle. Even if you have the perfect metal, how that piece of jewelry is actually formed is just as critical. The problem isn't just chemistry anymore, it's physics. This quote really hits home. Most jewelry is made by casting, pouring molten metal into a mold. And yeah, you can polish the outside until it shines like a mirror, but the inside can be a total disaster zone, a hidden honeycomb of tiny bubbles and empty spaces. So what this all boils down to is density. Cast jewelry is often only about 95% dense. That means 5% of it is literally empty space, little pockets that trap bacteria and create weak spots. The modern, better way is called metal injection molding, or MIM. This process gets you a piece of jewelry that's over 99% dense. It's truly solid. And how they do this is actually pretty cool. Instead of pouring liquid, MIM starts with a super fine metal powder. They mix it up, mold it into shape, and then heat it in a special furnace until all those little particles literally fuse together on an atomic level. It's not casting, it's more like forging the jewelry from the inside out. All right, so we know what to look for, implant-grade titanium made with MIM. But what about that other term we hear all the time, surgical steel? Well, let me tell you, using 316L steel for a brand new piercing isn't a safe bet. It's a gamble, plain and simple. And this chart tells you everything you need to know. Yeah, it's mostly iron, but look at that big chunk right there. Between 10 and 14% of surgical steel is nickel. And nickel is one of the most common skin allergens on the planet. So inside a fresh healing wound, your body fluids can actually start to break down that steel, causing nickel ions to leach out into your tissues. This is so bad that it can cause something called primary sensitization, meaning you can actually develop a lifelong allergy to nickel just from that one piercing. The risk is so well known that this stuff flat out fails the European Union's safety rules for anything that touches broken skin. And that's exactly why you'll hear pros talk about a titanium-first policy. It's so smart. If you start with certified ASTM F13 titanium, you completely remove the metal as a possible source of the problem. If you get irritation, you know you need to look at your aftercare or the placement, instead of wondering if the jewelry itself is fighting against your body. Okay, let's switch gears for a second. We've been talking piercings, but these same kinds of hidden scientific principles are just as crucial for tattoos. The final quality of a healed tattoo isn't just about the artist's talent. It has so much to do with the invisible geometry of the needle they're using.
The easiest way to think about it is like this. A short taper needle is like a blunt wedge. It takes more force and it kind of shoves tissue out of the way, causing more damage. But a long taper needle, that's like a sharp spear. It makes a clean, precise puncture with way less trauma to all the surrounding skin.
And you don't have to take my word for it. The results are just super clear. This chart says it all. The longer the taper, the lower the trauma. And less trauma means less swelling, faster healing, and your skin holding on to that ink so much better. Now, this is where it gets really fascinating. We now know that the reason tattoos are permanent is because of this wild capture-release-recapture cycle in your body. Your immune cells literally eat the ink. When they die, they release it, and new cells gobble it right back up. A clean puncture from a long tapered needle makes that cycle work beautifully, keeping your lines crisp for decades. A messy, traumatic wound just creates scar tissue that messes the whole thing up, and that's how you get blurry, blown-out lines over time.
Whew, okay, so we've dived deep into the science of metals, manufacturing, and even needles. Now let's get to the most important part, how you can take all this knowledge and use it to protect yourself and make sure you get the best, safest result possible.
It all comes down to this. What are the right questions to ask? When you walk into a studio armed with the right language, you're not just protecting yourself. You're showing that you're serious about your safety, and that pushes the entire industry to be better. So here it is, your personal safety checklist. You're going to ask specifically for ASTM F136 certified titanium. You're going to ask if their jewelry is made using MIM, not casting. And don't ever be afraid to ask to see the material mill certificate. That's the paperwork that proves what the metal is actually made of. And if you're getting a tattoo, just ask if your artist uses long taper needles for their line work. And really, that brings us to the core idea of all of this. This quote just says it perfectly. The kind of quality control that goes into making airplane parts or surgical implants, that shouldn't be a luxury for body art. That should be the absolute bare minimum. Because when it comes to your body, there is simply no room for compromise.